channel is this on? Both?
Both.
Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel.
Hey, what's up? It's Chan Daily here with a curry girl. And today we're going to be giving some branding tips for everybody that wants to start a vlog.
The tea.
So, what's the tea on it? Or is that coffee?
No, it's that's creamer.
It's
Chai
good.
tea, like a little chai tea latte.
Good thing it's not coffee because she wouldn't drink it if it was coffee. Today we're just going to be talking about why we started her blog and giving you some branding tips because we've been working together a lot for the brand, and we want to share how to help you if you want to start a brand too. I
mean, I always tell the same story, but if you go back to spring of 2017, Chan and I were actually having lunch, and I was just kind of talking about, like, I want to start a blog, but I think I have some stuff to talk about, but I don't really know how to do it. And I knew that he had already had his whole brand and everything going on, and so but I wasn't talking to him because, like, hey, like, help me out here. But it was kind of like us just
that was just like casual talk.
And him, I knew he'd understand. But I had never started it, and then he hit me up like 2-3 months later and was like, you should do it, and like all this stuff. And I like hit him up and I was like, you gotta help me. Like, if we're gonna do this, you gotta do it with me. So I mean, it kind of stemmed just from me wanting to like share my life with other people because a lot of people wanted to know about it, and I wasn't afraid to like actually, you know, put myself out there in that sense. So that's kind of how it started, just me wanting to really put myself out there.
Yeah, and whenever we started, it was like I was just asking you questions about why you wanted to start it, and she was just like, well, I'm very passionate about like my family, and I was like, okay, what else? So she was like, I'm passionate about, you know, my faith. I'm an athlete, so I like to work out, all this stuff. So I was just like, you should really just focus on things that you like to talk about, and I feel like everything else will come to you, because it's so hard to start a brand or to start a blog in the beginning, because you don't know exactly who you want to be in that space. But if you just focus on your passions, then literally everything else will come. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is just be, you know, authentic, be yourself. Because, you know, we tried to do like things that weren't her, and they like failed terribly. She always talks about like this fashion post that we did, and that was completely my idea, and it was so bad.
I mean, but it doesn't really matter. Like that situation was very like eye-opening for me, because not only like we preach like be true to yourself and be true, but
right.
in a sense you also need to know what people want to know about, because if you're sitting here giving out content or creating content, right, and no one's really reacting off of it, that doesn't mean that it's not important to you or you should like just throw it to the side. Right. But a part of being your brand is creating content that people want to know about. Right. So as much as
it's relatable.
And relatable, exactly. Yeah. And so as much as like I love fashion, and that post like was cool to me, like no one really like liked it that much. Right. So it was just like all like literally starting your own brand and starting from like the beginning is all a learning process. Like you're learning all the way through. You're learning more about yourself and about other people as well, which is the cool part for me. I really like that. So
yeah, you have to be really flexible and open to change too, and really ready to ride out the journey. Because I remember whenever we were first starting, YouTube was not even something that we were willing to entertain. Like, she was like, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, I'm not trying to be a blogger, that's not me. But as she grew and learned through the process and got more informed of the industry, she's like, okay, well, other people that have like a similar background to me or in this space that are similar to me are doing YouTube, and it's the best platform to really tell stories and let people get to know me. And this is where you're watching this video now. So she's grown a YouTube channel from being completely like stop. She's grown a channel from being like completely like I'm not doing this to now she is what, more than 10 videos in. So that just shows you like you really have to be willing to grow and be flexible throughout the process.
Like you'll never know what you're capable of doing unless like you're in that position where you can, or you're given the opportunity to do it. Right. Like you said, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, I said that I would never do, not because I didn't want to, or not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't think I could. Right. But like I look back in like just the past year, we're basically a year in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
6 months fully in, but like a year in, and I'm actually shocked at like how far I've come. So if you're a very, you know, introverted.
Yeah, and she was the definition of an introvert when it came. She was like, I'm not. Like, I'm going to put myself out there, but I'm going to give people like a taste. And now she's like literally putting herself out there no matter what. And I think that that is kind of a big piece of advice too, is just like, you really can't think too much about what other people think about you. You just have to put yourself out there, and it's going to come with failure. It's going to come with, you know, self-doubt in certain senses, but it's also very rewarding because you get to look back a year later and be like, wow, I grew so much, not only as a blogger or an influencer, but I grew so much as a person, because now I'm not afraid to show people who I really am. And I feel like that has, like, you've changed so much as a person because you've been willing to put yourself out there. You know, just a little emotional moment.
But that also like goes into, if you're fully aware, like you want to start your brand, you want to do everything, but you don't know where to start, and you know someone that knows what to do and that can help you, like you cannot be afraid to ask for help, and you cannot be afraid to like let someone kind of take over in a sense, but you have to trust them, obviously, and know that they have your best interests at heart. But I'm 100% positive like I wouldn't be able to do any of this without Chan. But it's not because of like he's a good person, but he's like very well versed in his career and like what we do together and what he does for me. So it's really important, like if you have someone who you think has like a little bit of like what you possibly don't have that can help your brand, do not be afraid to ask for help. Do not be afraid to ask for their opinions or anything like that, because it can go a long way. Like even like anybody in this industry that's like, there's a ton of people that are way above where we are, but like if you ask them, like they have someone with them that's helping them out. They're not doing it by themselves.
It's impossible.
It's literally impossible to do it by yourself. So that's one thing. Sometimes I didn't know how much it took someone. If I were to watch like someone who's, you know, in the same industry, I would not have thought that, you know, before I started doing it, if they had help or needed help. But you absolutely need help, especially if you're juggling multiple careers. Like both of us at one point in this time have multiple jobs that we were doing, not just this, and so that can get a little bit hard to do as well, if you, especially if you're doing it by yourself. If you've got your brand and then you've got a job that pays the rent and a job that pays your phone bill, like all this stuff. So help goes a long way.
And I was actually in LA before when we first started the brand, so literally we both had our own like whole careers that we were doing. And I remember like being an executive assistant, like being like, oh, I want to go and grab lunch, taking calls, like trying to build, we had two different schedules.
I worked in the restaurant industry, and so like I'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom literally like during
on the phone with Sugar Bear here.
Right, like, taking calls.
Literally. And that's why I say like you really have to, and I really love that time because it taught both of us how to like utilize the time that we did have to the blog, and it really made us like kind of care for it a little bit more, because I was just like, okay, well, I have to prioritize this. I have to really care about this if I want to continue to do it. So now being a year in and, you know, taking a step to like actually move in, because we're roommates if you don't know, taking the time to like move in and to actually like be real and pursue this has been, you know, challenging, definitely challenging, but it's been worth it too, in my opinion, because just like, I don't think it would have ever been to the point where it is, where we're negotiating larger deals coming soon if we didn't take that step. So you have to be willing to make sacrifices for your brand, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of time. How much time did it take to like edit the first batch of videos, especially when we had that slow computer?
Oh my gosh.
It was like hours and hours of just editing, and you often question like, what are we doing this for? But then you remember that you love what you do, and that's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I remember you talking about like when the brand was becoming like transparency, when it was becoming like more mature, it was not fun anymore. So whenever we like released a lot of pressure and started getting back to why we really started it, it started to become like more fun and something that we actually looked forward to doing.
And then not to like get into like this whole mental health part of it, but it honestly is like, you really have to, this is a job just like any other job, and so you have to really listen to yourself. Like if you're putting too much pressure on yourself, or like you're getting to a time where you really, the thought of creating content literally like makes your skin crawl, like stop. Don't don't
take a break.
Take a break. Just take some time, go back to the basics, figure out why you wanted to do this in the first place, because like I don't know if it happens. It does happen to everyone, because even my favorite, the people I follow on YouTube, like my favorite ones, they'll go missing for a few weeks, and you're like, okay, like where are they? But that's just like
refresh.
You're going back watching like old videos because like you don't have anything. But like that's the truth of it all. Like you're gonna have to take a break and recenter yourself, just like in any other thing, because you're gonna have some low times, and you're not gonna create good content if you're forcing it, or if it's not like something that you want to do, or you're going through like, you know, you're hating it at some point. It's not going to be good content. And
people will be able to tell too.
Your viewers will know, and you won't feel good as yourself. And so like, it is what it is. You just have to really listen to yourself, and then recenter yourself, refocus, and then come back with some even more content. I did that like for 2 months, I think. And like, I'm so much happier now doing this. And because I was just, it was really stressful. It was a lot of stress, unnecessary stress, because this is supposed to be fun. Like this isn't a career. This isn't a career that you have to do, you know, like people do it because they love it and they're passionate about it. And so if you're not passionate, it's not going to be good. Tactical things to do that we're also working on as well is like content calendars.
Yes.
I mean, we did a content calendar, a half a calendar.
We're still working on a calendar, to be honest.
Well, we did it for like 2 weeks. Because when I was like posting on Instagram every single day, like we did it for like 2 weeks maybe, and it was probably like it wasn't easy, but it made things go a lot smoother. So if you're doing content calendars, and then you're also like just communicating about like what's to come, those two can help a lot, because you're not like scramming at the last minute because you're like, oh, I haven't posted anything in a while. We do that. And then one thing that I want to do more of, I guess, that I would also share is maybe like filming a few things in like a day, or so that way you already stack up videos. So that way, like if you're going on vacation or you don't have time 1 week to record a video, you always have something to like upload or whatever. And
I think that a lot of we have content that, especially whenever we were having photo shoots pretty much every week, we would kind of roll out that content on week 3 or week 4. It was never kind of like the same day. And I think that that's important to keep in mind. Like if you have a friend that also likes to take pictures, they're trying to build their portfolio, utilize that little connection, get somebody to do a few outfit changes in a day, and stack up those pictures so that you know you'll have content coming out all week or for weeks, because every day you're not going to have access to a photographer or to a friend that's willing to take your pictures. So find those friends, do a few outfit changes in a day, kind of switch up your hair a little bit. I know she loves to go from the big hair to ponytail to different things. Just like switch it up so that it looks like you have a photographer on site every day, when really you're just taking pictures on Saturday. You know. And
then also like invest like money wise, in it, because like if we show you these two little camera light things that I have here, and I invested in a new computer that to make editing a little bit faster.
We realize it's not easy.
It's not easy at all, but
save up to do it.
Absolutely. Save up to do it. Go on Amazon. There's like cheap, like you don't have to get like the most expensive thing. Amazon has like the cheapest things ever that can make your videos look a little bit better. I invested in a new camera as well. I probably shouldn't have bought it at that time, but I did anyways, and it's like paid off $1,000. So this is also an investment.
But if you have an investment in your future and yourself, because really every single time, especially if you want to get a job in the more creative field, I'm using every single piece of content that we've ever produced as a way to build my portfolio as well. Like, look, I can edit videos, I can kind of maintain schedules, calendars, all that. Like, I use every single thing as a way to kind of sell myself in any position that I might be applying for in the future, and any position that I'm applying for right now. But you just have to really know how to use everything that you're doing when it comes to blogging to build not only your character as a person, but just like yourself professionally as well.
Amen.
What else? I'm trying to think of more like tactical things. Things that we edit on. Honestly, we use iMovie. No really fancy software. I just edited a video on Premiere for the first time forever, but honestly, iMovie gets the job done. We create the thumbnails on the YouTube videos on Procreate. So if you are looking for a nice app that's super easy and user friendly, and if you're an artist, I definitely recommend the app Procreate. We'll have it linked in the bottom because that helps customize the sizes for the thumbnails. You can enter images and design on that. Also, we were actually very fortunate to have web developers help us with the website, but there's so many great alternatives to that. There's Squarespace, there's Wix, there's Weebly, and they're all very, very easy. You don't have to know how to code or do any of those things.
All user friendly.
Yeah, so that's the biggest, those are the best platforms for that. For editing pictures, I really love Airbrush, Snapseed, VSCO. And sometimes like I'll use multiple, this is kind of fake, but sometimes I'll use like multiple apps to edit just one picture, but that's just Instagram these days.
I just spilled it on my shirt.
Oh no. Yeah, so those are kind of the apps that we use on Instagram. And honestly, the settings within Instagram are not bad
if
either.
he's not editing my pictures, I think I use Clatteron. I think it's called Clatteron, and I just like go up and down the little swipey thingy
Yes.
to like I don't have the patience.
I will edit a picture for 20 minutes. Also, Planoly is a good app to kind of see if things look good on your feed. So if you don't want to post and delete picture to see if, you know, it matches your feed or whatever, if you have a more aesthetic type page, then you can use the app Planoly to kind of upload a picture just on the app so that you can see how it looks on your feed. You can upload almost like a week's worth of pictures, and then you can actually do a feature where you can just schedule those posts as well. But I just use Planoly to see if it will look good before I upload. So those are like the best apps that we've been using on the website and on the Instagram and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like a resource, Chan has his business. It's on Instagram. We Meet Daily.
We Meet Daily, yes. We Meet Daily is my kind of consulting, editing, photography business. So if you're interested in just having a consulting session with me, that's where you can find me. Yeah. Well, we really hope that this video helped you out in any kind of way. Definitely start your brand. We promise that it will be so rewarding and so fun. We've gotten to do so many fun things and meet so many cool people throughout this past year, and we've never, ever, ever, ever thought that it was going to get to this level. Not saying that it's like, not saying that we're Beyonce. But yeah.
Still, yeah.
It's just like a really cool thing to do.
If you have any other questions or want to know about something, comment below.
Not Damien.
Yeah, but if you have any other questions, just pop a comment below. I usually go on and comment back to you guys at one point a day or.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be on my channel too, so y'all can do the same thing.
I'll leave his channel in the bio and.
Same.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching it all the way through. Y'all the bomb. And
have a great day. Daily. We're so dumb.